Call the meeting of the Bay County Veterans Affairs Committee to order Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, 3 p.m. in the Commission chambers. Roll call, please.
Begich,
Here.
Bantol,
Here.
Stewart, Eckstein,
Here.
and Digby.
Motion to excuse our two members. I'm looking for one. I can't make it. Need a motion to excuse our two members.
Motion.
Second. Support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have some minutes in our package from the January 20th, 2026 meeting.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Citizen input. Looks like we don't have too much of that today. Petitions and communications. I guess maybe I'll say here, we're going to vote today to expand the Veterans Affairs Committee to 7 members, and there's a appointment schedule in the packet today, and it'll be a partial one-year term to expire on December 31st, 2026, and then there'll be another one for a full 4-year term, and position appointed in 2026 for a partial 2-year term to expire on December 31st, 2027, and eligible for reappointment. I know Van Digby's appointment is up at the end of the year, so I'll have to talk to him, see if he's going to continue on or not, or put his name in to continue. But the vote will be today to finalize that we're expanding to seven members. So set up a schedule for the appointments. Reports, resolutions, order for statistics. Yeah,
So just what you've got in the packet are 2025 statistics for the office. For the multicolored one is basically the claims and things that we do in the office. So you can see overall for 2025, kind of what we've done. So when you see the one thing, and you'll see it in the next set that I show you as well, when we're talking about World War era, or we're talking about wartime eras, and you see like on World War II, we dealt with 31 veterans. That can be the same veteran or the same family over multiple times. It doesn't mean there's only, as far as I know, there's less than half a dozen World War II veterans.
These are events.
Those are events, correct. Yes, they're not individual representations of the number of people we actually see. So then you can see, obviously, Bay County is still our largest, where our largest number of veterans come from, but we do also draw from Saginaw, Midland, Aranac. There's also a couple of Tuscola County, because people choose to come here instead, so. And then overall, what claims activity we do. And then on the second set, so at the end of the year, the question was, well, what did we do compared to last year? So if you look at the ones that are just green, there's one that's just for emergency relief, so that you can look at transportation, burials, and emergency assistance by year. And then again, if you look at the emergency, the number served under emergency assistance is an event, not a total of, it could be multiple veterans coming back for gift cards or help with something else repeatedly. It doesn't mean we've had 126 people, it means there's been 126 events. So, and you can see most of the numbers remain the same. Transportation is obviously going down a little bit because we have an issue with drivers. We're currently down to 2 drivers. So there's That's the only one that's been failing. Everything else, burials remain about the same. And the amount of money we expend each year remains about the same as well, so. So then if you look at the one that's for claims, you'll see actually that our new claims are down a bit, but supplemental claims where we've got to refile for something is actually increasing more than we're doing for, it's actually up 60% more than, and where you see it's about 20% down on new claims. So in this case, it's things that we are filing for that either the VA got wrong or we've got additional information. We've got to file back to the VA to have them correct something or review something. We see this a lot, especially with the younger veterans, because they're more apt to do their claim, their first claim themselves. So that they're online, they're doing their claim, and then when that comes back from the VA and things are denied or there's questions, they don't know how to go from there. So we're seeing them coming in asking us about supplemental claims or higher levels or other things that we need to do to get them, to get their claims going through. So and then again, broken out the wartime periods. So in the county of residence, the one thing, because I know it's going to be the question, you'll see Saginaw County, we've actually got a huge increase of people from Saginaw County coming up. The VFW does not have a service officer in Saginaw. They previously had 2 service officers there at the VA hospital. So they do not have someone there. So VFW Detroit at the regional office has asked those of us that are accredited to VFW to handle their claims. So they've farmed them off to Flint, to whatever's the other way, Lapeer, and then we get them in, I imagine, Tuscola, wherever they are within the county, that they get pushed out then to someone to see who has VFW access. And yes, it increases our workload a little bit, but VFW also provides our accreditation for, there's no cost to us. So there's kind of a trade-off. They'll accredit you, but can you handle their claims work as well? So you see there's a larger increase in Saginaw over the previous year. So almost 500% there if my calculations are correct. So I just wanted to provide, because at the end of the year we go, okay, how does this year look? What did we do last? And then we have to go back and look at spreadsheets, and I thought it may be of interest to at least see where things are as far as you can see. Obviously, World War II, the number of World War II cases we're handling go down. Korean War cases are going down. Vietnam War going down. But then we've got an increase in peacetime from late 75 to 90. And then, of course, we've got the Gulf War since August of 1990 on there. So I just wanted to provide as an overview. And then if you look back, the year 2022 is when the PACT Act came in. So you'll see we filed a ton of claims. And it has obviously gone down a lot since then because we were playing catch up. And then in 2023, if you could not file your claim in 2022 for PACT Act, VA gave you an additional year, which we had to file an intent to file. And we had until August of 23 to actually file the claim for anything, for exposures generally that related to all the new things that were involved in PACT Act.
Had a question.
Yes, sir.
Service officers, the vet center, I believe, do they have I think they have a service officer there.
There's at least one.
Yeah.
Keishan Counts is her name.
Okay.
She is through the American Legion, and she is over here at the Bay Veterans Foundation on Mondays. She's over there certain days, and I think she's working out of Midland as well.
Yeah.
But she's employed through the American Legion.
Right. Yeah, they had mentioned that at that gathering that we had, that they had the service officer at the vet center also.
At least one. I'm not sure if there's others that float over there from the main hospital. I know that she is at least there because we've run into her there, so.
Yeah. Probably a lot of people don't know about the vet center yet.
We actually get a lot of calls from people asking what that is, because before it was in Saginaw in the back behind everything where nobody saw it unless you were going there for counseling or any other, nobody ever knew it was there. And now it's right there and everybody's like, what is this?
Yeah. A lot of people thought it was a dog or an animal treatment place.
Yeah, no, it is not. It is actually part of the VA benefit for veterans. They just offer a different setting for counseling, and they also offer different counseling than what you can get at the VA, at the annex over there at the VA. They'll do marriage counseling, they have group sessions, they have other things there If you don't want to go to the VA, main VA hospital, you can go to, or to the annex. You can go to the vet center. It's just,
Yeah.
they're separate, but they're not. But their records are separate. They're kept separate from, so whatever you're saying over at the vet center does not get.
Yep.
And for transparency on that, so I guess the camera knows and you guys, it's on Bay Road where the old Burgers restaurant used to be. So anybody that doesn't know. So it was very nice.
Across the river from McDonald's.
There you go.
Yeah, yes. And it's actually, Andrew and I had gone there for a meeting 3-4 weeks ago. It's a very, very nice facility.
Yeah. I had a tour a while back. Yeah. Looks real nice.
It's really a very nice, surprisingly, what they turned the restaurant. It's
Doesn't look like a
very nice-
restaurant anymore.
No, no.
Who developed that?
I'm not sure who, outside of the VA, I don't know. You mean construction-wise?
Well, I mean, sponsored it. It was the VA.
The VA. Yeah, it is run by the VA and funded as part of the VA.
So it's a great resource for the community, our veterans all around, so.
Yeah, sounds good. Any other questions? Any other veteran service officers coming online or going away, either way?
Yep, so Andrew just finished his accreditation. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you go
He
ahead.
finished his accreditation through our National Association of County Veteran Service Officers, who is the only one currently offering accreditation to the VA at this time. So he has just finished that. He's filed his paperwork to the Office of General Counsel at the VA and is waiting for them to approve him to be a service officer. And then we start asking the veteran service organizations, Legion, DAV, VFW, to cross-accredit him so he can see their files.
Good.
So he just did, sorry.
Can he be trained before September when they normally do the training, or will he
Oh,
have?
before the Legion training?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping, and that's when I will get Gary to sign off and him to be for the American Legion as well. And then there's an understanding between the National Association and the other organizations. I'm not accredited to DAV. He will be because they have a memo saying that DAV will accept their training as good enough for him to be cross-accredited to the DAV. And VFW,
DAV, VFW, Legion, and then there's some other ones, but those require specific, like if the Green Beret
Beret, yeah.
Foundation requires, I think there's a specific channel you have to go to for them, but the main three, I'll pick up the accreditation with them, I'll get cross-accredited with the main three.
Good.
so that the test or the course he took and test was 40 hours. He still has another 40 hours through the VA. It's called, I can't remember what it's called, TRIP training, and has to do specifically more with claims and processing and handling and how those things go. That's another 40 hours. He'll have to complete that. And then any additional, we do annual training online through the VA for things like how to handle federal tax information in case you see it, handling paperwork and what you're supposed to do with it, PII, PHI, that whatever has to do with medical records and things like that of what we're supposed to do, and which we don't maintain copies of. We do not keep. They're in the VA system that we see, and they are in the state system that we have access to if we put them there to be uploaded to. Otherwise, we do not keep any copies of that type of information. Either the person takes it with them when they go or shreds. We do not keep copies of that stuff other than what we're working on physically on our desk. So those are annual things that he'll have to do when we do them, well, obviously annually, so. Plus then we do the Michigan Association Conference, which is what's coming up in April, up at Shanty Creek, is required 16 hours every year for training, including topics like ethics, any new issues, any additional things that are coming out specifically that relate to us doing claims into the VA. pension, non-service connected pension, surviving spouse benefits, all those kind of. We get updates from the VA facilities, from the VA hospital facilities. We'll have usually a director. The regional office comes in and tells us what's going on in Detroit and if there are going to be changes. So it's very good. It is definitely not a vacation in any sense, the way you're in class 8 hours, and then generally every evening you're talking to all the other service officers from the counties around, including at dinner or, in conversation, sitting in a group, discussing what they're seeing or what's going on with various. So it's definitely worthwhile, because then we get to see face to face who the people are in the counties around us.
Plus, there's always changes, like they were trying to, if you got medication and it made you better, then they would take some of your claim away from you, but they decided not to do that, so.
That was one of the recent ones, and that is actually how, for hypertension, which is one of the things they do, unless after taking medication you still register in the hundreds for systolic and diastolic, then they can still rate that additionally, but generally it's a 0, that yes, you have hypertension, yes, you can get the medication through VA, but they're not going to pay you for, but that, as far as I know, is the only one that they treat as, and have treated since they've allowed it, that counts in that way. Everything else does not count. It's more based on the condition, not your condition itself.
Yeah. I was wondering about diabetes, if you got your A1C down to like 5 or something, if they would take it away, but they're not going to do that, so.
We hope that don't come back.
Yeah.
Yes, and
That was gonna get crazy.
that has been removed from the code as well. They have removed that.
Yeah.
Because we knew that would come back at some point, that if that's on the books, there's going to be someone somewhere who's going to cite it and be perfectly legal to cite it, because it is in their rules. And then the last one, what was the one?
Oh, when they were using for AI, the suggestion was they were going to, and this came out last week, that they had proposed to use some form of AI going all the way back to 2010 on any disability benefit question, DBQ?
Yeah, disability benefit questions. So the things that the doctors and medical staff fill out when you're in your C&P exam.
They had proposed to run AI through any privately done DBQs all the way back to 2010. Then the statement was that it would only be for learning purposes. Then the statement was that they wouldn't be doing it at all. And now they've actually officially came out and said they're not going to use it anymore. Going forward, they are. So any new claims, they'll be using an AI something. They haven't announced exactly what company will be developing it, who will be developing it, when it'll be developed. But going forward, once it's developed, any private DBQs that are done, so if somebody has to go to a private healthcare doctor versus Department of Defense or
A VA
doctor,
one, yeah.
then theirs will likely be scanned by this AI looking for, it sounds like they're trying to find fraud or any of the, like, what are known as claim shark concerns, where they use a lot of similar things that may or may not actually apply to that veteran and that veteran's claims, to get them to go through a little bit easier. So,
And their main point is they were looking at fraud, is they were looking back to see, I'm not sure what their overall goal was, that they were, I know what they said they were doing, but they were looking for specifically fraud from these larger companies that do this, not from veteran service officers and service organizations. So which is, especially on the older claims, if VA was looking back to 2016, their VA has their rule where they have a 5, 10, 20 rule. 20 years of you being rated, the VA cannot change that unless, and it's the only caveat, there's fraud. So even though them saying, oh, we're not going to change anything, we've had the conversation of, unless there's fraud. If they find fraud, then obviously they can change it. because that is their one caveat, no matter how long you've been rated, if it's been a week, 20 years, or 50 years, if there was fraud, they can still change it.
Yeah, it's a pretty broad-based, depends with definition of it too.
And so they've removed that as well, that they are not going to do that past. They will do it going forward, at some point when they develop the software.
This is kind of an interesting aside, doesn't relate directly to this, but the FAA, about 3-4 years ago, gained access to the Veterans Administration database. So they went through and they scoured the records of all these airline pilots who were denying disabilities and benefits on their FAA exam, but who were on the VA rolls as having had disabilities and receiving compensation.
That's got to be a lot of crossover between
was a lot of-
military pilots and,
And they sent them, they get some a letter, and they gave them like 6 months to produce documentation or adjudicate or reevaluate, they came down. So, this AI thing is not a joke. These agencies learning to gain access to other agencies'
Records,
databases.
cross-checking.
and there are cases where VA and Social Security share data, especially in the case of pensions, which are based on income, so they're always, for a while they didn't, for several years they didn't, and now VA's caught up with, Social Security gives them information kind of in the background, and they swap and share, otherwise they can request from each other. In the cases of, you have a Social Security disability, or you have a VA disability, and you applied to Social Security for disability, they'll share information back and forth to substantiate the claim, because obviously one of the agencies has already done all the medical and all the data is there.
I was doing compensation and pension at that time, so I'm off the hook. No.
Yeah.
I did them carefully. They're very detailed, by the way. That's quite a process to go through. And we were contracted out of Wisconsin. It was, they wanted to outside contract some of the VA stuff because they thought there'd be a conflict of interest, because you're determining how much money they're going to get and you're paying the money. So they decided to contract it out to quite a few. So, anyway.
So, and I just had one, the last piece that's in your packet is the meeting notes from, I think it's from October, whenever the last meeting we had. I just wanted to be sure in case there wasn't one, you didn't get it in January, that you've got it, just to have it so your records are complete, as I apologize, I missed the last meeting, so.
Plus, I see you have the expansion of the Veterans Affairs Committee Board.
Yes.
And I was looking, so I think she's opening it up now. It's going to be in April. The appointments are going to be made, so I'm sure our secretary has sent out notices. I think she talked to me about sending it out to the...
In that process of getting that published, not only on the county website, it's got to be published in a paper, so she's not sure if she's going to get it on MLive or the Pinconning Journal, and then got to wait for responses to come in from folks who have any interest in increasing the board. And then, of course, the board has to do all their...
Probably would be the April 21st meeting on the third Tuesday that we would do the appointment then. Yeah.
So, and then one of the things that's come out of this, that we've had this discussion with Corporation Counsel about, was there are limits on how many people in a committee, how many vacancies there can be on a committee. There can only be 2 people up at a time for renewal or to fill openings, not to be appointed, but for renewals. So that has been, we had to figure out, that's why when you read that they're weirdly appointed, one is to finish out this year, but then to be reappointed at a 1-year period, and the other one is to be this year and to be appointed to a 2-year period. So that's because it has to fall within the already existing schedule of some years. We have, like 25, there were 2 positions that were open. This year, I think it's just one and one, and so this will add into that rotation, but we can only have, per the law, 2 that are open at any one time for appointment. And then we also had to make sure we appointed that the board has appointed two, because we can't have one, which would make us an even number. There had to be an odd number on the committee.
It's a little confusing reading.
It was very confusing trying to figure out, we were probably 2 hours in a meeting trying to figure out, and then realized we were counting wrong to go, no, wait, that's not going to work because of, so we had to shuffle to be sure that they fit in with the current existing rotation for,
Must have been a lawyer that wrote it. Oh,
So when they get appointed, Vaughn,
yeah.
and we have a full complement of 7 committee members, is there a chance to have the list of whose terms expires when? and
yes,
list-
there is a list that is printed, yes, we do have a list.
Yeah.
I can get a copy to the committee if they wish, so I'll be happy to do
Well, it'd
that.
just be nice, once they get the 2 new people on, well, okay, you're only for 8 months, and you're for a year and 8 months, and
It'll be until the end of
7.
one for 26, one for 27.
Yeah.
And then they can come in for the full 4-year
For
term.
4 years after that, but it'd be nice to know exactly when.
1-year term expires.
Mine's
Yep.
gone. I was
Yep.
thinking it was a 2-year appointment, now. find out
4.
it's 4 years,
It's 4 years.
double the fun.
And I can get you a copy of what that is right now, if you'd like. I can get a copy out to you.
I'll just wait till the new members there and just, when they get appointed, the next time we meet probably, it'd be April, probably meet in May.
Yeah, if there's any issues, yes, we would meet in May, correct.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
That'll be fine,
Okay, will do.
because I'll have everybody's name.
Anything else in our packets?
Nope, just other than, like I said, he and I will be gone end of April for our annual meeting.
Well, getting back to the agenda, did we have to make a motion to receive their statistics? I don't think so.
Yes, yeah, it does say receive, so we do need a motion to receive.
I'll make the motion to receive.
Support,
Last man standing.
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Any old business that we have to go over? No, that's the old minutes.
Oh, yeah, if you wanted to, certainly. It's not illegal. Yeah, no, you're good.
And any new business, we have the expansion, we talked about that already.
Yeah.
We don't have to vote on that, that's the commission that does that. Annual required training, April 21st to the 24th.
Yep. And we get that through our state association, and then we usually do, in the fall, we go to the Legion training as well, because Legion handles like 75% of our claims, so it gives us face time with the staff from the regional office and their service officers, so they know who we are, we know who they are. And then additionally, there's a lot of service officers that go to this training as well. And it gives us the later updates that may be coming in, any changes, especially since this one's in April. We're not going to know what VA is thinking about for the end of the fiscal year until later in the year, so that kind of helps with. And then we also get a judge from the Veterans Board of Appeals that comes in. We have a great multi-hour session with that person, who then, they also have a mock hearing there, so we see what happens during the hearing. But then we can ask questions of the judge. They're very receptive to talking to. It's probably one of the better portions of that, is to actually get to talk to a judge offline, to actually ask a question on what is it you want from us? What are you looking for when we do this? And we don't actually do the hearings. Andrew and I, though, are accredited to that we could. However, Corporation Counsel here asks that we do not do appeal hearings with the judges. So those we usually allow the veteran service organizations to handle, and they have the staff and the training to do so.
Those are administrative law judges.
Administrative law judges, it is a real judge. It is really a federal, they seem casual, but it is a real thing. They are recorded. There's a transcript. The whole thing is very much a legal proceeding. And at least in our office, there's no way that Andrew and I would have time to even prep a multi-hour thing to have a conference with the judge for an hour, talk to and prep the veteran on what may come up, what's being asked. There's just not enough time in our days just to break off that we could spend. There are a lot of the offices around, that county offices, that do offer the appeals, and their service officers do them. It's not possible for us, and Corporation Counsel has asked that we not do them. We do participate at other levels when there's higher level things. We have talked to the decision reviewing officers when there's questions of things that the folks, but that's very much a minimum as well. We don't generally operate at that level.
Yep. Any questions? And you have a budget for that, right? I would imagine for your.
For the training, that is correct.
yes.
It is budgeted every year for us to go.
Is that from the state grant that we get, or?
No.
That's a
No, it is separate. It comes right off the millage. That is part of the millage funding.
Yeah.
That used to be something that was in the grant, which cannot be in the grant. And then there used to be a separate grant for training and education for offices that could not afford it. But it's on our regular millage budget.
And have we, our grant request, have we turned that in for this year, or is that coming up?
We are good until the 30th of September.
Okay.
And then we have not yet received word back from, the grant got moved from Michigan Veteran Affairs Agency up one level to the Department of Veteran and Department of Veteran and Military Affairs. So it's like their department level person, and MVAA is kind of like a sub, but equal partner with them. So the grant actually got moved from MVAA up a level. So we have not heard, they're still approving fiscal year 26 grants. So we don't know yet when the intent to file or any of that stuff is going to be for fiscal year 27. So there are folks still waiting for their grant for this year, and we're already coming up on the end of the second quarter.
And the funding is still, I don't think they've passed, there was some legislation to increase the funding to cover all the counties that had applied, because more of them have applied, but I've not heard that that's gone through. So,
No, we have not heard, and that may be one of the things that comes up in our training. That usually is one of the issues that gets discussed more on our association meeting side than in the actual training. And there were actually a bunch of offices who, when MVAA came back to them, they just said, just drop it. We're not going to do this. There's no way this works. They eliminated a bunch of things that would not in the grant originally when they applied, including advertising and other things. They limited it, and now we're not sure exactly for fiscal year 27 where that's going to come back to. So we're all
salaries, so mainly salaries.
Yeah, is it still going to just be salaries? Great, then we cover salaries.
Well,
Because they took a lot of things off that you could use it for last time.
yeah.
And
At one point, we had bought 2 vehicles in 2019, I believe, or 2020, somewhere right in there. We had bought 2 new vehicles. We used it to renovate the office downstairs in 2019, so that was a huge cost as well for all of the equipment, furniture, everything.
As long as they don't ask for the money back. No.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any announcements?
I have one. We have a new person in the Veteran Affairs Office, so stop by and say hi to him. He's a big help now. His name's Ed. Came from Region 7.
Yeah.
So he's been a big help. Welcome him aboard, and he's doing a great job. He's a veteran as well, and he's been a good help. It's nice to have him in the office helping out. And you want to talk about Saturday by chance? We had to Vietnam.
Oh, I forgot about,
Yeah, that's
this Saturday at St. Stan's or Our Lady of Chenstohova is, Brian Voss puts on a dinner for Vietnam and Vietnam-era veterans. And there's no cost to them and their spouse. And they fill, that room is going to be filled again this year. So Andrew and I will be there. We'll have a table representing the county and providing any information we can. Obviously, it's a lot of our clients already, but we've met several folks there who again, didn't know even existed. So we'll be there. Walking with Warriors will be there. From our Ashton Hero will be there. Last year, the National Cemetery Administration out of Holly had someone there. The Honor Flight folks had somebody there as well. There were just a half a dozen of tables, basically.
It's nice.
It's a great dinner. They have a good program. And it's a very good thing. We're happy to be there for them, so.
Great speaker last year. I know, Vaughn, you were there.
Speaker this year is, I heard who it is, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
But supposed to be a good speaker.
I don't know on top of my head either.
And they fill the parish hall there is very filled with, where actually our table will be and where we sit, the entire program will be on the dance floor, so. And then they've got, Krizak's did the meal last year. I'm presuming they're the ones who are going to do it again this year. And it's free to the veteran and their spouse. And Brian is the one who funds that and then has asked, I believe the Legion has provided a donation, the Sun's provided a donation, and other veteran organizations provide donation to help him to cut that cost.
Very good. See, the 29th of March is Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day, or not a Memorial Day, but it's for Vietnam veterans. March 29th, I don't know, are we having something this year? I don't know if we had anything before.
I don't know.
Yeah. I
Nothing's
know
scheduled, I know.
BVA hasn't set anything up, so just remember it, I guess. All right, any more announcements? Otherwise, we have citizens input.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Mayor is here.
Good job.
Thank you. Otherwise, a motion to adjourn would be in order. Motion? Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.